Travis Wingitzel. The New York Post just impressed me most. Has other news from yesterday about the Michigan Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints shooting and burning. We're relying on what the sheriff was reporting. New York Post did some investigating from what the sheriff was telling them to get more information that he was not wanting to tell people. They found out that the assassin is Thomas Sanford. We now know his full name. They also identified him through social media postings and all that, to have pictures as well. So, well done, New York Post. His mother was the one who posted on Facebook that he had served in Iraq from 2004 to 2008. He has a wife and a child that he has now abandoned. Whatever was going through his head, he believed was sufficient enough to abandon his wife and child. Oh my God. He rammed into the side of the building at the chapel where the sign said, "The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, visitors welcome." Didn't go through the doors. He rammed the side of the building and gained access into the chapel through the hole that he made in the walls. And so likely there were people sitting there in the benches where he burst in and began shooting and gained access and lit the chapel on fire. There will obviously be more bodies found. But as of this morning, no reports of any activities overnight, which kind of is surprising. The fire has been put out. And yeah, it is confirmed they do have a 10 a.m. service, being the only people who use that ward, that building. Ooh, wait a minute. I'm reading further in. Oh my God. Well done, New York Post. He didn't abandon them. He thought he was rescuing his wife and 2 sons. He believed that they were attending church that morning. Oh my. Oh. Now we understand the motive. He rushed inside the church to find. Oh, maybe this is somebody else. Maybe not. Hold on. Let me read. Paul Kirby, 38, who also ran outside to render assistance, believing it to be an accident, told the New York Times he saw the man getting out of the truck from about 10 to 20 yards away before he realized what was happening. He started shooting at me, Kirby said, adding that a bullet whizzed through a nearby glass door, clipping his leg with a piece of shrapnel. He rushed in. Kirby. Okay, no. Nope. No. Okay, the wife and 2 sons fled through the back and loaded as many people into their car before speeding away. Okay, there were some people who got away thanks to Kirby and his wife and 2 sons. Whew. So that's a relief. So there were some people who were able to escape and get away, but as the photos show, there were still a lot of vehicles parked around the building. So there's going to be more bodies for those attached to those vehicles. That was almost breaking news. Man pissed that family joins the church. That happens. Excuse me. That happens. The church is not supposed to do that. But there are many who break up their families for the church because the spouse is an unbeliever. But especially with kids involved, as missionaries, we are told, do not pursue having the children be investigators without the parents' permission. You get the parents' permission, and in fact, if the one spouse is very opposed, you tell the other spouse, I'm sorry, we're not touching this. We don't want to be the ones to break up your home. But no, that is not the case. Whew. Reading, it's fundamental. And so, yeah, the guy is an avid hunter. There's a photo of his child with him on a hunt. And the truck, what was the identification of the vehicle? Chevy Silverado, as far as I went. He had antlers on the front bumper, and then 2 massive American flags flying from behind in the back of the pickup. So, clearly one who shows his patriotism for service in the war, despite that war being among scandals of the Bush administration. Nonetheless, that is the update. My experience as a firefighter has given me an advantage for what was going on here. They had a ladder and a crane truck that arrived at the scene. That was cool. And so that allowed them to get directly onto the fire that was focused in the middle of the chapel and then spread throughout the rest of the building. The building is a complete loss. And so now what happens is the investigators have to go in not only to see if they find more bodies, but also to confirm what set off the fire, to tie it to the shooter, or find out if he had shot something that set off the fire, or whatever scenario to cause the fire. That's what investigators are there to do. While a firefighter, there was one morning, very cold morning, our alarms went off on our scanners. We rushed to the station, put on our uniforms, went to a local residence that was on flames. I was a hoser, and I was assigned to go to the part of the building that was not the main part of the fire, as I was sent to the north side on the west to try to put out the fire through the window on that side of the building. And where the others were attacking it from the front of the house and on the other side. My hands froze. When we got the fire out, the fire chief took me in to teach me how to investigate fire scenes, to pay attention to the clues. We had found the source of the fire was an electrical outlet that had just caught fire. As the main charring occurred in that location and then spread out to the rest of the house from there. We also found a dead body right where I was spraying the hose. When I've told you in previous videos that you do not want to ignore the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, who are warning you to not get burned in Armageddon. And I tell you, you do not want to get burned. So yes, we also investigated the body. The smell of the body overcame several of us. We had to get some air first, and then I went back in to investigate the dead body. The person had succumbed to smoke inhalation first before the fire consumed his body. From what we understand, the house was originally empty, but the guy who drove by saw the fire and believed that the young girl who lived in that room there at the back was still inside, and he went bursting in to see if she was still there, thinking he was going to rescue her. And he had made it all the way back into the house to her bedroom, where he lost consciousness because of the smoke inhalation. He was right there by the back door, and he lost his life thinking he was going to save somebody who wasn't even in the house. She was at another neighbor's house. His intestines were showing. And it was because of my hosiery that I was able to preserve his body from a complete charring. The members are not going to be as lucky. This was a perfect opportunity for the brand new president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to have shown what kind of a president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Oakes was going to be. He knew of the fire. A spokesperson for the church posted about how that was a tragic situation, condemning the violence, etc. But it was not Oakes. Oakes, along with the Utah press, only gave a damn about remembering the life of President Russell Marion Nelson. They neglected the welfare of those in Michigan who lost their lives, saying that the local leaders are the ones who are going to handle it. This was the perfect opportunity for Oakes. Pope Leo, brand new, being put in, at least, even though he was messing in things that don't belong to him, at least he stood up and said something to let his presence be known. Oakes failed. Oakes has gone silent. Oakes is more obsessed about his power that he now has, his control over other people now, that he has neglected his one and only one responsibility to be the leader of Mormons, and he abandoned Mormons. So yes, there's a scripture on this, as there always is. Now everybody knows this scripture because you hear it. You have no clue where it's found. 2 Nephi chapter 26, starting in verse 29. He commandeth that there shall be no priestcrafts. For behold, priestcrafts are that men preach and set themselves up. Unbleepin' believable. Monday morning, 6:30, and I get cyber attacked with freezing of the camera at 20 minutes in. I mean, dear God. Mormons are the enemy. And this is going to pass on to Mormons. Oakes's example is going to be passed on, emulated by Mormons, as you just saw. All these years, it's been Mormons emulating Nelson. When he comes out and changes the name or enforces the name, saying that we are no longer to be called Mormons, we are no longer to be called Latter-day or LDS. Jesus is angry, he's offended. How dare you? You need to go around and tell everybody we are not Mormon. We are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so, yes, with this Michigan thing, people don't give a damn. Bleep you. You're Mormon, you'll always be Mormon. But for this cyber attack on a Monday after the tragedies over the weekend that I've been covering, all for what? Because I'm getting more views? That you have to silence me immediately, knowing that I'm doing a video recording. Bleep you, D-Todd. So, as I was reading from the Book of Mormon, the keystone of Mormonism, he commandeth that there shall be no priestcrafts. We all know the leadership of the church practice priestcraft. And they got us as missionaries and regular Mormons to not know of this until it got leaked. And that was only like in 2014, 15, something like that. Mormon leaks. Somebody submitted Irene's check stubs. They are not a lay ministry. Like they force the local churches, stakes, and then wards and branches within, in case there's others who are not Mormon listening. That's what a ward means. And yes, Brigham Young, as I did my research for. Joseph Smith called them branches, or branches of the stake of Zion, and so also stakes. And then there's the central stake, as Joseph Smith commonly referred to them as. It was Brigham Young who included wards. So branches got demoted, among other things. And so Dallin H. Oakes, practicing priestcraft. Also, Paul Adams, I believe is his name. He was in the San Francisco area. He was reporting from his vehicle. Apparently he was homeless. He used to have a YouTube channel. I don't know if he's still around anymore. He was talking about how to be chosen as an apostle, you are compromised with $1 million bonus to keep the sacred secrets, to be compliant, and reward you for your loyalty to the church to become an apostle. And that the apostles are split up into the top 6 and the lower 6. That the top 6 get more exclusive knowledge on the bigger picture of what's going on. And you got to understand, this was long before all of my reporting, all these years. This was pre-Latter Days, even though we go back to 2014 now, as I've gone over with you. And that becoming the head of the church, yeah, you get extra money above and beyond. And so even though your wages are only enough for you to take care of yourself and any wife and family members that you may still be raising. Irene, for example, had his daughter that he was still raising. And I've done the video of my one-on-one with her. Although, at the time he got leaked, she likely was no longer living at home. She may have gotten married by then. But, yeah, it was in the 2000s when I went, and, yeah. There was Irene was speaking in the tabernacle. I don't remember the occasion. But I decided, yeah, why not? Let's go down and watch it. And the place was already packed. I had gotten there way too late. And found a seat next to a female, and facing the podium. It was over on the left side, where the guy came ramming in, but in the tabernacle. And so there was the overhang right above us. And I asked, is anybody sitting here? And she said no. And so she moved her stuff, including her scriptures, closer to her. And I sat down, and while I sat down, I took an opportunity to investigate her. Notice the name on her scriptures that she purposely adjusted for visual confirmation. Cool. I can always tell when a woman's interested, and I can always tell when she's not. And yeah, his daughter, she goes, yeah, he's my dad. And it began. So we didn't get to have further conversation. Afterward, I turned to her and was gonna try to figure out some conversation to have with her. I never learned how to flirt. You know, it comes naturally with puberty, but I never learned how to flirt when not motivated. So I generally want to get to know a female, and that confuses women, and they expected me to flirt with them, I guess, or I don't know, trying to get to know you. Do I have to flirt? That'll always come easily, naturally. Nonetheless, she then started complaining about how it's so difficult being the daughter of an apostle of Jesus, and that no guy wants to date her, and so she was concerned she was never going to get married because of who she was, and stormed off. And I'm like, I'm right here. I was going to have a conversation with you, get to know you better, and maybe, nope, gone. Disappeared into the crowd. And I'm just standing there going, what the hell just happened? If you had no interest and you didn't want to give me your phone number, just say so. Don't need to make stuff up. Anyway. Back to priestcrafts. Although I could bring up other stuff with Irene, but that's not the point of this video. There's Kimberly. Priestcrafts. So becoming the president of the church, you get access to greater amounts of money. That's what Paul was talking about. And I wasn't sure, how do you confirm that? But with the confirmation that they do get money for being priests in this church, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that is the case. Learning that they worship Lucifer would not surprise me. That there are briberies and loyalty rewards for rank advancements would not surprise me at all, because that's how it's done in criminal organizations. So it would not surprise me. And the way that the church had treated Paul, yeah, because if he was just a member just spouting off lies, the church wouldn't care. But he was in leadership, not high leadership, at least a bishop in his lifetime. But, priestcraft. For behold, priestcrafts are that men preach and set themselves up for a light unto the world, that they may get gain and praise of the world. So when you see the church news videos that I cover, because you won't look at the church news on your own, I'm the only one who looks at the church news website daily. Nobody else, just me. And the church is going, oh wow, we're getting a consistent view every day. And then they find out the IP address. Oh, Travis! Get him! Get him! Yeah, they're always talking about how they are getting praise of the world. Oh, we visited these leaders. We went to these countries. Oh, everybody loves the church. Nelson's death. Sarah Murphy. Come on, girl. Come on. You know what they're doing to you, right? trying to socially control your behavior because you're a naughty girl, not being married. Come on, Sarah. They're reporting. Everybody loves Nelson. Beloved prophet dies. Remembering Nelson, how wonderful he was. The advocate for women. Sarah. What they're doing to you is not advocating you as a woman. I want to cry because this church is extremist with their sexual abuse of women and men, but especially women. Extremist. Because, if you've not heard the controversies from BYU rapes, the Mormon girls, being the victims of rape, would get kicked out of BYU and excommunicated. In Utah, you're forced to have the baby. You can't get an abortion. You're not even supposed to use birth control or contraception or anything in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You are not allowed to protect yourself from rapists, which it's very high in Utah because of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and their standards and values of morality for social behavior control. And so, as a single mother, up until 2014, you then were taken to LDS Family Services, because this was before Nelson said Jesus is now offended with nicknames. And you were told, you've got to have this baby, but you're a sinner. You're wicked. You're a single mom. This baby needs a mommy and a daddy. You're just a mommy. You need to give up this baby to a good Mormon family who are rich enough to give this baby the care it deserves. Human trafficking through their adoption agency, which they finally stopped because of Obama and the whole gay marriage thing, giving rights and marriage and IRS tax benefits and rights to adopt. You know, like the Boy Scouts. Yeah, oh, you want gays in the Boy Scouts? We're out. And we're not going to pay for all of the rapes of the boys that we were responsible for with the scout leaders. Yeah, extremist sexual abuse in this church. And so, yes, here in Utah, if the women say, bleep you, I'm keeping my baby, they get financially punished. And so they're financially ruined. If mommy and daddy take them in and not kick them out for being a whore as a rape victim, they have to figure out how to get government benefits like WIC, which is about to be canceled. That's the whole shutdown thing, guys. WIC is about to be canceled. Project 2025 by Oaks of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, going through the Secret Combination Council for National Policy, who has the guys who are connected with Project 2025 to make it happen. Single mothers are about to be further abused in a coming day. And I have seen many a single mom here in Utah struggling to survive. And as the news is also reporting, when you struggle financially, the greater the temptation to commit crimes in order to survive. So sure enough, under Trump, with the adjustments to the economy, yep, so is also the rise in theft and other scam crimes that are going on in the United States, even in Utah. Going over the local news, I'm seeing the increase in financial crimes and scam crimes through AI and other apps and such. That's what happens. This is what happens. Book of Mormon warned you. And so, yes, priestcrafters also. The church does all this to Mormons, getting gain and praise. In the video clip when Trump went to visit Welfare Square, they were telling him about how members of the church donate to make this all possible. Trump if you listen carefully, because the volume is way down, because of the distance away from them, you hear Trump saying 10%. He's talking about tithing. Tithing does not go for Welfare Square. That's a different storehouse of the Lord, right, Oaks? Tithing is for Jesus's treasury. Again, confirming Paul may be onto something about pay increases the further up in rank you go. And so, yes, the church tells others that tithing is for the welfare of Zion, and it's not. It's not. The whistleblower blew that all up in 2019 in December. Nelson came out with the first presidency statement saying, yeah, so get over it. It's in the Bible, parable of the talents for the latter days parable, after the 10 virgins, giving us the date of when the latter days would be. They're claiming they're hoarding the money for Jesus. Parable of talents. That's what it says. That's what it means. There's no other interpretation possible. The one and only true interpretation. Has nothing to do with saving souls to get them to Zion. So yeah, it's all about getting gain. And they enforce it with D. Todd Christofferson and the Strengthening Church Members Committee to help us stay on the covenant path, to pay money to the church. Seeking not the welfare of Zion. So the church says, yeah, Zion is the administration, it is the church. And so Elder Pullman's talk, Church and the gospel are not the same. I mean, they are the same. That's what the church meant. Is that Zion, the New Jerusalem, the kingdom of Jesus, is the church. It is not the people. It is not the members. And so, Heber J. Grant, Articles of Incorporation in 1923. Members of the church are not Zion. They are to fund Zion as chattel slaves. The whole corporation was designed to put Mormons into slavery through tithing to fund this criminal operation for their plans for the latter days. Church was dissolved by the Edmunds-Tucker Act. Church did not exist anymore. There were just people who were of the religion who were being lied to by the leaders of the church. Official Declaration number 1, verse 11. To be led to believe that the church is still intact. It's still in existence. We have leaders of the church, they're telling us so. Clueless that the United States had dissolved it. And it was a criminal operation. It had nothing to do with polygamy. It was the financial operation of crime that it was shut down for, and thus aggravating polygamy into sex trafficking, not just prostitution. This church lies. And you've got Oaks. I've now got to transfer all of the Oaks files to this computer. Crap. I warned Oaks. I've got gold on you, as I've been given clues about the gold of Oaks. Crap. Now you're forcing me to pull it out. In the coming days, I'll be using it. In the coming days. But yeah, he was going around the world telling everybody how evil the United States is because they denied religious freedom for child bride polygamy. Gold, Oaks. And here he is going into hiding, getting all ready, trying to fit on his mantle of king, trying to see, does the crown fit? Oh, we need to take it to the jeweler to have it adjusted. How's my scepter coming? That is the last thing a king should be focused on. Give your life in the service of the people, and they will love you. Focus on your power and glory, and they will hate you. They will plot to murder you. They will commit crimes in your kingdom, and then you'll be forced to protect yourself with guards, and you'll have to enforce your laws of abuse upon the people to keep them in line. Mosiah 29. The welfare of Zion must come first. That's why Zion tells you that you are co-equal. It's not co-equal. That's the only word that's popping to mind. has inheritance. God. You're co-equal with Christ in Zion. To have access to the property, to the storehouse, with free agency. I can't remember what it's called. It's pissing me off. I know that there's... And so, in Zion, you govern yourself. You got to have agency. You got to give it. That's it. It's real simple. Don't take away life, liberty, or property. And in return, they will give you life, liberty, and property. That simple. There it is. Do not labor for money in Zion. You will destroy Zion. No underground economies, no black market economies, no alternative economies, no trade or bartering, no gambling, no stealing from Zion and selling on the black market, because that's going to put other Mormons in financial jeopardy. Oh, you can't come up with the money? Well, you got to figure out a way to pay me. Oh, you got to commit a crime in order to pay me back? Yeah. Sarah Connor Chronicles. You want these IDs? You got to come up with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, you want the Turk program that's going to become AI in the future and destroy mankind? You now have to pay 4 times more to get it. Yeah. That is not allowed in Zion, guys. You will be booted out immediately. And if there are capital crimes, yeah. But don't worry, Mormons don't want Zion. Don't worry. Don't worry. That's what love is. And I lost Kimberly over this. Charity is not newly translated as love. Charity is from keratos, meaning to give. This is not to give. He tells you you should have charity, which charity is love, agape. I lost Kimberly over this, because the Book of Mormon is literal history true. It is on the golden plates, not gold, as charity is love. No! No! It's correcting the wrong translation of the Bible. Article of Faith number 8. I lost Kimberly. I'll tell you. She had her home in Bountiful. It was a mansion. She's on the hill. She's in Irene's ward. So she knew Sister Irene from Relay Society. They know each other. And so I'm one day telling her that I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. And I wasn't sure if she was getting it, if she was understanding what I was talking about. And so in the middle of our conversation, she goes to the phone. What are you doing? I'm going to go call Sister Irene. What? Yeah. She starts calling. I'm going, okay, I'm concerned. She likely doesn't know what I was talking about, so she's going to explain it in a way that's going to ruin the whole thing and will prevent me from ever getting this to the church. Nonetheless, ring, ring, hello? Sister Irene, hi. Yeah, it's Kimberly. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm doing great, yeah. Yeah, the pen, yeah. Hey, I'm with Travis. Yeah, he has Paleo Hebrew, and she's going over and describing it, and I'm just going, oh, I'm so in love. So in love. She knows. Oh my God. I love her. And Sister Irene, I couldn't hear what she was saying, but Kimberly's response made it very clear she was being friendly to reject me. And so, yeah, that was it. And then I lost her over charity. So I did get to bring her in after all. Oh my God. And so, yes, the test of character and leadership of President Oaks, and he's already failed. Before he's even coronated, he failed. Give your life in the service of the people. And do not do it for that reason, to be loved. Do not seek the praise of the people, because you're retaining the gift, as the Bible explains. You have to give freely without expecting anything in return. And you see that time and time again about how Jesus teaches, you've never thanked me. You little brat. Groundhog Day. Is that the whole point of healing is to actually heal people. And when you're doing it to get money, to get praise, to get other forms of compensation, reward, yeah, people see that and they go, oh yeah, Nelson, oh wow, he's so wonderful. Yeah, I want to be just like Nelson. Hey, you need to serve me. You need to do me a favor though. You got to be righteous. You can't judge me. That's the emulation that the prophets are giving out, is priestcraft. And so no wonder Utah is the highest per capita of businesses of priestcraft, aka pyramid schemes. USANA, doTERRA, and others here in this valley, even other people who try to start up their own pyramid scheme, doing it a secret underground movement, as in West Valley, the members in the ward were trying to get one of the guys who was struggling financially to get involved in their pyramid scheme. And he calls me up in the middle of their conversation with them, and they're saying, hey, I got the couple from the ward here, and they're trying to sell me something, and it sounds like a pyramid scheme. Can you come over and check it out and see what it is? Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. Reported their boss to the Better Business Bureau. And he argued, I'm selling stuff. It's not a pyramid scheme. No, it doesn't matter if you're selling stuff. If there is recruitment that have to pay you, it's a pyramid scheme. And you got Governor Cox, who gets up as the new governor and endorses the pyramid scheme of doTERRA because it's a Mormon running it. And doTERRA was the one that Daniel tried to get me and Karen involved in when he came over with his wife, pretending like they wanted to come over for a social visit, to have dinner with us. I went through all the efforts to try to figure out what kind of organic food they wanted to purchase it. And it still wasn't good enough. And the one I had chosen who had molded stuff hidden underneath it. Unfortunately, the cashier guy caught it and said, let me get something else to replace this. And all they wanted to do was come over and sell us doTERRA? Oh my God, or recruit us into it? Just evil that this church makes Mormons into. All because of priestcraft that Mormons know is wrong with the Book of Mormon, and yet it permeates this state down to the very child groomed to be a priestcrafter after the image of the leaders of the church. Just awful. And so the other news that I caught this morning, because I really covered all this stuff, because there really wasn't much else in the news. We're waiting for doomsday this week. Is the FBI, again, we already knew this, and yet they're posting it again. The DNA of Tyler Robinson matches the DNA on the towel and the screwdriver found on the third weapon that was the first weapon at the crime scene off campus in the forest. That doesn't exist. They were just trees. Again, they do not tie Tyler to the shooting. They didn't do ballistics to make sure that that was the rifle, not the other two that they said it was. And instead, again, the person on the Luze building that they are claiming is the shooter and used that rifle, there is no rifle. Doesn't exist. No video footage of the person with the change of clothes with a rifle. None. No rifle. And yet they're claiming this is the rifle that shot Charlie Kirk, and it was from that building, and that's the person that would, there he is, see, there he is, he's jumping off the roof. No rifle. You need the weapon to confirm that that was the weapon that killed Charlie Kirk. They don't have that evidence. They don't have that connection. The towel and the screwdriver were planted after the fact. And to have Tyler's DNA on it means that they planted Tyler's DNA on it. The whole thing is a scam. They don't want the real shooter found. He got away. And that should scare every Mormon because of what's coming this week. We're done.